Marketer of the Day, episode 593, RockStar Marketing, Make More Money. Think outside the box. Get noticed and succeed with Keynote speaker Craig Duswalt.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Marketer of the Day podcast. We're chatting with Craig Duswalt, and Craig is a keynote speaker. He's an author, a podcaster, and he's the creator of RockStar Marketing. And his background includes touring with Guns N' Roses and Air Supply. And Craig has combined his backgrounds in music and marketing, and he's now a professional speaker, an author, and a podcaster. And he promotes his RockStar Marketing Program, and he's known for putting on high-energy 3-day RockStar Marketing BootCamps every spring and fall in Los Angeles. So Craig is going to tell us how to use some outside-the-box marketing techniques to generate leads, to attract clients, and how to stand out from the competition like a rock star. So Craig, glad to be talking to you.
Hey Robert, great to be talking to you as well, my friend.
Awesome. So, it sounds like you have a ton of things going on. What's been your focus the last 30 days or so? What has you super excited?
Oh, that's so funny that you said last 30 days, because I thought you were going to say last couple of years. I run these RockStar Marketing BootCamps every spring and fall in Los Angeles, and they're going great. Last one in March 2018, we had 600 people there from all over the world. But this new thing that I'm doing is this membership site. And I've had a membership site for the longest time. All my marketing stuff is on there. But I was charging, like a fee to join it and then a monthly fee. So I have this new system where I'm just charging a one-time fee for life, and they get all my information for life, and it's rockstarmarketingbackstage.com, and it's $97 for a one-time fee. And I'll just share with you, in the last literally 2 weeks, I have over 250 new members. So do the math. 250 times $100 is a pretty good payday for 2 weeks. So I have a database of over 60,000 people. I'm about to launch it to the world. So this is my, in marketing, it takes time to market your business, but everyone wants to make money fast. Give me the quick way, Craig, that I can make some money so I can support what I'm trying to do in my business. And now I've kind of found it, because if you have any content, just put it all on one site, and the key is to charge a one-time fee. So the objection of someone not signing up because they have to pay month after month after month is now taken away. And then there's no customer service problems because they're paying a one-time fee, and they're happy they're just getting any information at all. So it's this new thing that I'm doing in the last 2 weeks.
Well, that's awesome. Well, congratulations on your success with that. And yeah, there's definitely something to be said about doing something outrageously crazy and saying, well, I have all this good information and I have this program, and your hesitation is because maybe you balk at the price a little bit, or maybe you are hesitating or you're shy about paying that monthly fee. Well, let me do something super crazy and just put it all in there for a $97 one-time fee, and you're going to be absolutely blown away to get the buying juices flowing. And then that person who buys says, whoa, this guy Craig, and I got all this great stuff for $100. Imagine what happens now when I buy the coaching from him, or I buy something more high ticket from him. I got that really great first transaction, first impression. And so we mentioned that you have this kind of rock star marketing system. And so what's unique about it? Is it based around doing speaking gigs, or kind of what makes your system stand out compared to others?
Well, first of all, great observation, Robert, on the whole membership site thing and giving all the information for $97. Because a lot of people go, there's no way I'm going to give all my content for a one-time fee of $97. Yeah, but if you get 10,000 people in your membership site, you made $1 million almost. So anyway, great observation there. So what's different about the RockStar Marketing Bootcamp? I toured with Guns N' Roses, like you mentioned, and Air Supply, and I saw, how do these bands get 80,000 people to come to a concert? We have trouble in this speaker world to get 100 people to show up to something. So how do they get 80,000 people, 50,000, 20,000 people to go to their concerts? And all I did was take what I learned touring with Guns N' Roses and Air Supply, and combining it with what I learned in school. I was a marketing major and I owned an advertising agency, and I came up with RockStar Marketing. And so rock stars make albums. So I believe that we need to make products rock stars perform on stage, so I believe that we need to speak as well. And you don't need to be a professional speaker, but you do need to get out there in front of the world and speaking, whether it's on stages or lunch and learns or things like that. And then creating products, like I said, and then writing books. A lot of rock stars, they write songs, obviously, but most of them are writing books now as well. So I teach people how to write books. So it's a combination of writing books, doing videos, podcasting, those things. But you're going to say, well, a lot of people teach that as well. At my seminars, I have 254 outside-the-box marketing ideas that correlate, that help put out videos and books and podcasts. So I have ways, really weird, outside-the-box ways that I kind of combine the learning from these bands and my advertising to get people to join your database. Like this membership site is a whole new thing. It's an easy lead generator, because if I get 10,000 people, which I will have by the end of December, now I have 10,000 people that are huge fans of mine because I put out all this free content. And then if I put an affiliate fee for anything, any other seminars that I love as well, that's more income. So, and it's also a lead generator because now I have 10,000 more people, raving fans in my database. So it's all about creating raving fans like rock stars do, and just doing things differently, like real estate. Everyone sends out, real estate agents, they send out postcards with their picture on it and a picture of a house that says sold on it, and that's how they do their direct mail. I have other ways of doing direct mail. I don't like cold calling, so I have ways of getting people to call you instead of you calling them. And that's basically, I have a lot of weird things that people can do, and some of them are very bold, and people might not do all of them. But at my seminars, they might say, you know what, that's too much. I'm not going to be that bold. But it gets people to think differently of how they can be different than everybody else in their industry.
Awesome. Well, that's a nice analogy from the musician thing. And it's making me think about how there's like the foundational part of it where like, we do need to have the products and the books and the speaking, but then we can apply all of these fun tactics to maybe make a big splash. And you always hear about musicians doing that, right? Like there was I can't remember the name right now, but recently there was some band that was having some difficulty with the concert venues they were putting on. Like the company doing it was just either like charging too much or they were in weird places. And so the band just said, well, we're going to do all of these free outdoor concerts. Or a couple of years ago, you heard about Wu-Tang Clan put out just one copy of their album, and they were like, well, we're going to price this at $1 million and there'll be just one copy, and maybe it'll end up at a museum or something. But like kind of the outside the box methods like that always seem kind of fun because it mixes it up, and a lot of people are too afraid to do it. And like you said, if you share one of those outside the box ideas that someone says, well, I won't do that, and then there are 253 other ideas like that, right? So we mentioned that there was that the membership thing that you did, and does anything else just kind of jump out at you right now as far as like another one of these cool outside the box ideas?
Oh yeah, let's see. I'll do the, well. We just talked about direct mail, so I hate cold calling and I hate sending out postcards that everyone else sends out. So what I do is I go to Staples and I get regular white envelopes, business number 10 envelopes. They're just white, plain envelopes. And if I'm trying to focus on a person that I want to sponsor my event or someone to review my book, like a YouTuber to review my book, I don't want to cold call them and just say, hey, my name is Craig Duswalt. I'm really, really cool, and you should review my book. Everyone does that. So I send out, I put, like if I'm trying to get a YouTuber, so I'll put their name on the envelope, and in the return address, I'll put my return address and my telephone number. And then I lick the envelope and I mail it, put a stamp on it and mail it. And they get the envelope and they open it up and it's empty. I just send empty, blank envelopes out to people. And curiosity is killing them. And they're saying, oh my gosh, what did this person send me? I'm curious. Oh, there's a telephone number under the return address. Let me call them. So they call me up and they say, hey, Craig, my name is John Smith. I just got this envelope, but it was empty. What was in it? And I say, well, nothing was in it. I just wanted to talk to you about whether sponsoring an event or something. And one of two things happened. Very, very rarely they get upset and they think that was really cheesy. And in fact, it's really never happened. But I say to them, look, you called me, I didn't call you, so you have that. And then the second thing, what 99.99999% of the people say is, wow, that's amazing that you got me to call. What other marketing things do you do? And I explain what that is, and they either come to my boot camp or they sponsor an event. So it's just a door opener of something clever that gets people to call you instead of you doing a cold call. So that's my direct mail piece.
That's really awesome. And what I like about that is that that doesn't need to be the only envelope you send to someone, right? That can just be part of your sequence.
Oh, that's just fun.
You can say like, I send them the blank one, and if that didn't get me personally good returns, or if I didn't like that, that can just be, I can then on that sequence have the next letter be something, or even call back to that, be like, hey, did you get the blank envelope that I sent? Didn't get a phone call from you. So yeah, that's and that seems to be like a really important lesson, and that took me a while to figure out myself, is that all of these fun, either like, campaigns or attention to getting gimmicks, they're only temporary. So if we don't like them, or if we're hesitating to do something outrageous, it doesn't matter, because that's just a little flash in the pan. We can be moving on to the next thing, whether that's, like raising the price on our products, or capping the number of people who can buy from us, or even like this $97 thing that you're doing. If it, for whatever reason, if it had flopped, you could have just been like, well, now I'll move on to the next thing. And if it's too successful, if you're saying, well, I'm building up this whole list, but I just don't like how I'm giving away all my stuff for free, you can always change that. So it's not like these things that we do have to be set in stone. They're just different things that we're doing to change things up and to get attention. And so that way we're not just marketing like everyone else out there, right?
That's right. And like I said before, I have 254 of these. That's just one. And you use that one, and if it doesn't work, which it does, but if it doesn't work, you move on to the next one, or you try like 10 things at one time. I mean, I just don't just do that. I do a lot of crazy things. A lot.
Yeah, and you're making me think back to, and what's interesting about some of these things is sometimes we just kind of pick up one of these things and it works really well, and then we forget about them for years and years, because you were just reminding me that something that I did a few years ago was I recorded a lot of personal videos for people, and it was before, I think smartphones were just coming out, but flip cameras were popular, and I would just stand in front of the camera and I would talk to some customers, some people that I wanted for joint ventures, some people who ran speaking events, things like that. And I think I knocked out like 50 or 100 of these videos, and then I would burn them to a DVD and then put all these in the mail, so that way they weren't just getting a link to some YouTube video, and it was like specifically mentioning their name and specifically mentioning things, and it was just easy for me to knock out these quick 3 to 5 minute videos. And then I think I messed up one of them. I think, and ironically, I think that I didn't get much of a response from all these people who I had made these custom messages for, but one guy that sticks out that I did get a response from, I think I had forgot to burn his DVD. So I sent this guy a blank DVD with his name written on it and, addressed to him. And so it kind of had a surprise effect, sort of like the blank envelope, but in this case it was a blank DVD. That's what got his attention, because he was like, whoa, what the heck's going on here? So funny how number one, the curiosity makes people take action, and number two, we sometimes apply some of these outside the box techniques and then forget about them years later.
Well, that's why I do these boot camps every spring and fall, and a lot of people come back all the time, because they can't, you can't do all 254 at the same time. So they do a couple, like 5 or 10 of them, and they come back and they realize, oh my gosh, I forgot about that one. I'm going to do that. Like the blank DVD, I just love that. I just wrote that down because I might actually steal that from you, but I'll give you full credit because I actually love that.
Awesome. So I just gave you technique number 255, right?
And another one was, can you tell me, because I've never heard this and I know pretty much everything in the rock and roll world. You said something before that is genius. A band sold one copy of an album. Is that true?
Yeah, Wu-Tang Clan. You didn't know about that?
No.
It was they produced one copy, and I think the Pharma Bro guy bought it and then I think the FBI might have seized it at some point. But yeah, it was basically like it was either $1 million or $2 million, but it was like some gold-plated thing. And then Wu-Tang Clan said that you can buy this album for $1 million, and once it's yours, you do whatever you want with it. Like you can listen to it in your home and be the only person besides us who has ever heard of it. You can choose to give it away for free. You can put it in a museum and make it so that, someone has to come into the museum and listen to it. You can choose to destroy it, and then you can get significance from just no one else in the world has a copy of this album that you paid millions of dollars for and destroyed. You can hang on to it and resell it for 10 times the value. And so they kind of like said, you have all these different things that you can do with it, as opposed to just saying, here's my $20 album. They kind of changed the game there, mixed things up.
I just think that's genius. I always at my seminars, I always ask people if they have any ideas. And I give them full credit at my seminars. I'll say, hey, I heard this from Robert Plank and da da da, and so I give them full credit. But those are two that I'm going to be using at my October bootcamp. So thank you.
Awesome, you're very welcome. So as far as those ideas that you asked or that you heard from the audience, has anything come to mind there as far as just some audience idea that just blew you away?
This a good friend of mine, Casey Eberhardt, has send-out cards, and I don't join any MLMs or network marketing only because I have so many of them coming to my boot camps that if I choose one, the other people get upset that are in the other competitors. So competition. So I do send-out cards though, and Casey, we do a whole section on send-out cards of just sending out, like taking pictures of people at a seminar. And then sending them a card with a picture of them at the seminar on it. They're never going to throw it away because it's a picture of them, and it gets them to learn about you and the send-out card. Taking pictures from Facebook of their pets. People put pictures of their pets, and you take the Facebook picture, you put it on a card to them, and say, just wishing your dog Charlie a happy day or something like that, and people just get blown away. First of all, when you get a picture of my dog, I guess it could be creepy too, but you got to be careful. But and you just say, I got this on Facebook. But it's a great way to make people feel significant by sending out send-out cards. So I bring Casey up a lot of my seminars as well. I give, once again, full credit because these outside-the-box marketing ideas that I came up with send-out cards, and he has like 4 or 5 himself that he's done as well. I do that all the time. There's another great one, if I can share one more, that I kind of came up with through an accident of someone else giving me an idea about something else. But and outside the seminar world, nobody knows this. You might know it because we're in the seminar world and you do podcasting and you're the marketing guy. So stamps.com. I go to stamps.com and I get my picture put on stamps. And it's 50-cent stamps, has my picture and my website on it. And I send it to people that I know or people from high school that I want to come to my boot camp. And every response is, dude, how did you get on a stamp? And I'm like, well, I'm a speaker, in LA, and they asked me if I wanted to be on a stamp. So I'm like, totally not dispelling the man behind the curtain. But it's a great way to get people to go, oh my gosh, you are a rock star for sure. And anyone can do it. You go to stamps.com, you just upload your picture, and it's a couple of cents more per stamp. But imagine sending your proposals to people with your picture. It just makes you stand out like a rock star. So I tell people to do that all the time, and that one blows people away. And I'm surprised that everyone doesn't know it, but no one outside the seminar world knows how to do this or knows that they can do this.
That's a great tip. Yeah, stamps.com, get your picture on a stamp. So people have Martin Luther King Jr. stamps and Elvis stamps and then Craig Duswalt stamps, right?
Exactly, right?
Yeah, and that's really cool because like something that I started doing was putting my picture on the return address labels when I went to get business cards made from Vistaprint. When you go through the checkout process, they're like trying to give you a million upsells, like do you want mouse pads and fridge magnets, and then part of it is a return address label with your picture. And then that sort of got me thinking like, oh, when I mail out envelopes to customers and people like that, why not put myself in or put my picture on that return address? And as you know, a lot of people forget to put their picture on their business card. So imagine if you sent out a snail mail campaign and your picture was on the stamp and your picture was on the return address label, and then whatever was in an envelope, you had your business card with your picture also. They'd never forget your face.
Your picture on a picture on a book, picture on your products. I tell people, be sure if you're doing products in a book, you got to put your picture on the front cover because you're marketing. If you're trying to market your business, a lot of people are like, I don't want to put my picture on the front cover. Well, that's marketing. That's why rock stars put their band picture on the front cover of the albums. There's a reason they do that. People want to see who they're buying from. And a lot of people are like, if you looked at my boot camp, if you came to my boot camp, there's banners all over the lobby with my picture on it. And you would think I'm the most narcissistic person in the world, but that's how you market because no one else is going to put your picture up for you. So you got to do it yourself. And rock stars do that all the time. And they're very shy people. Like Axl Rose is very shy, but his picture's everywhere. And that's what you just have to do.
Right. That's a really good reminder, a really good lesson for all of us that no one's going to put our picture on our marketing for us. And how much of a shame would it be if you went to some sort of event or you were trying to get the attention of someone and they just didn't recognize you, or maybe they knew your name, but they just couldn't even pick you out of a lineup? That would be really sad. So that's a really good, really good reminder there to get our picture on things. And yeah, and you're also reminding me just of how much fun we can have with the personalization, with the send out cards, and how maybe we need to be, maybe like you said, not super creepy, but maybe just creepy enough to get the attention. And what you're reminding me of is the Russell Brunson, the ClickFunnels guy.
Yeah.
He moved into some huge house a couple of years ago, and I've never told anyone this, but when he moved, I went and looked on the real estate listing sites to see what had recently sold, and I was able to pin down what his home address was, which I guess was sort of creepy. But then I wrote and sent him something in the mail, just like, congratulations on your new house, just because no one else is going to do that. Or if someone is going to contact him, they might send it to his P.O. box or his business address. But I put in those extra couple of minutes to narrow down what his home address is, so that way he's probably going to be opening that mail. And then as far as the send out card stuff, something that me and my business partner used to do, and we just need to pick this back up, but when we would get a sale of a high ticket product, if someone bought something from us for $1,000, and we would go and find their picture, usually on Facebook, and then in the send out cards editor, put their picture right there in the card that we sent to them. So someone would get the card, get something in the mail, open it up. We sent those really delicious send out cards, brownies that just cost like $7. Yeah. I love those things, and someone that I had on a podcast sent those to me, and I haven't had them in years, and I totally forgot just how good they were. And so just sending and it's a couple of clicks, right? Send the brownies, send them the card with their picture on it, or like you said, their dog's picture. I mean, it only takes a couple of minutes to do, and it really make you stand out compared to people who don't put in the effort, who don't put in the mailings, or even stand out against people who put in the mailings, but it's all just the same exact stuff. It's almost spam, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the send out cards, just like you just said, a couple of clicks, so easy to do. It is ridiculously easy. And I'm sure Russell Brunson didn't get creeped out. I mean, that's kind of a clever thing to do. I love that.
Awesome. And then, what else you may remind me of is when I first got an iPhone, and this was maybe 10 years ago, I found some sort of an app that you could take a picture, push a button, type in someone's mailing address, and then send a postcard. And so what I would do, and I can't believe I forgot about this until now, or I can't believe I stopped doing this, but I would meet someone at a seminar and then get a selfie with me and the person, and then get their mailing address, and then get the postcard sent, and the postcard would be there either by the time they got home or maybe a day or two later. And then what I would do sometimes also is I would ask them like what kind of problem they're trying to solve in their business, and then I'd say, oh, well, this such and such marketing book, this will really help you. And then I'd get their mailing address and I'd just buy it on Amazon right there, and same deal, get it waiting in the mailbox by the time that they got home. And I think I even might have done that with movies too. Like if they liked a certain kind of movie, and be like, oh, you'd also like this movie, and then just type it right there in the smartphone and then have it, waiting for them when they got home. So yeah, it's like you're reminding me of all these, once again, like little easy, small touches that we can do, and sometimes just do it from an app in our smartphone. And just, I think a lot of it is just remembering to take those couple of minutes to do it.
Yeah, the send out cards makes everything that you just said easy. We do that too. I take pictures of people that I meet at the seminars. I have their address because they signed up for my package, and I send them a send out card that just reminds them, this is me, and I'll see you at the next boot camp. So yeah, we do that all the time, and it's so good, and it's great to be reminded what is so easy to do. And that's why going to seminars over and over again, listening to podcasts over and over again, because there's so many things out there that you can do, and some of them are just so easy to do, and we forget to do them because there's so many choices. So good reminders.
Yeah. And then so along the lines of, making that little bit of effort and, making sure that our picture is out there and all that, when you tell people about, how to speak and how to put the books out, are people afraid at all? Is there any of that hesitation out there from people who are maybe just shy about putting themselves out there?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, all day long. That's the biggest thing that I contend with at all my seminars is people are afraid to put themselves out there. So I give the stories. I wrote a book called Welcome to My Jungle. It's on Amazon.com. It's about me touring with Guns N' Roses for 4 years. And it's just a day, funny things that happened on the road, but it wasn't a tell-all book because Axl's still my friend, Slash is still my friend, and I didn't want to do a tell-all book. So on Amazon.com, if you were to look it up, which your listeners will do, go to Welcome to My Jungle, and they'll look at the reviews. And there's a bunch of reviews on there that slam me because I didn't tell the dirt and that I must be getting paid by the guys by not to writing the truth about stuff. And it's like, you have to kind of get a little bit of a thick skin once you put stuff out there. The bad thing is my kids saw those reviews and they're pretty nasty, but there's hundreds of great reviews as well. So you just got to take the good with the bad. But yes, the biggest problem people have is if I start doing this and writing books, then I'm going to be judged. And I'm going to get people to say, oh, I don't like you, or you're not a good writer. And that's one of the main things that I talk about at my boot camps is that mindset that if you want to make more money and you want to be a rock star in your business, you want to stand out from the competition, you want to be an expert in your field, you want people to buy your stuff because you are great at what you do, then unfortunately, you have to rise above that. And that's the difference between Guns N' Roses and another band that was on Sunset Boulevard that was great, but they didn't do the marketing and they didn't want to put themselves out there because of fear of someone judging their songs. Tyler Duswalt, my son, my 10-year-old son who's now 18, wrote a book at 10 years old on blogging. And he had 100,000 subscribers on his blog. And it was how to cheat basically on the game Club Penguin. And it was just had a ton of kids on his blog. And he was never afraid to put anything out there. If something didn't work, he just did something else. If someone said something bad, he just ignored it and went to the... We have to start thinking like 10-year-olds and 5-year-olds again and not caring what everybody thinks about us and just throwing our stuff out there because we believe that it is valuable stuff. And that's a big part of marketing because I can teach you all the marketing in the world, but if you don't believe that, then you're never going to be successful.
Well, that's very wise advice. And what I'm hearing from you is that some people are going to criticize regardless. So if we know that that's inevitable and we know that maybe it might be 5% negative and 95% positive, we're never going to have that perfect score. So just know it's coming and have that thick skin. And I'm sure that like you said, there's those reviews, and I'm sure that you've had people who give you bad reviews for things just for the silliest of reasons. You're making me think back to sometimes I've had people leave me bad reviews for my books just saying well, I found a typo on page 35, or something that happened more recently was I started putting some of my books on Audible in audiobook form, and someone didn't like the way I pronounced the word breakfast. He's like, it sounds like he's saying BRUCK and then making a fist. And I'm thinking, if that's the worst thing they have on me, then yeah, I mean, like they've probably got their own issues going on. So yeah, that's good to know. But I guess it's one of those things where it's easy to let the fear take over, and then if we have that sort of mindset shift of saying, well, it's more fun. It's like, if you think of it more like the rock star who's giving the concert, like, of course that rock star is afraid, but they're also excited and they also overcome it, and they know that they're, putting their best foot forward, and so and they're having fun with it instead of just being shy about it or being a perfectionist. They know how to have fun and get attention at the same time. So
and that's the key, is to have fun with it. And if someone abuses you on the internet, just let it go, because they obviously have a lot of free time and they're not your client anyway. So I've learned to just let that go. And I work with the people that are passionate and positive thinking, and I have 165 people in my mastermind. I have tens of thousands of people in my database, and I get over 600 people coming to my seminars. So pretty happy about that,
Yeah, you found a way to move on, and you're not optimizing for your critics. You're optimizing the people who already love you, and that seems like less of an uphill battle there. So
focus on the people, focus on your fans, right?
Yeah, I love it. Great advice. Focus on your fans. So you have these events that you run, you have this membership site, you have these websites. So can you tell us where people should go to find out more about you and just keep in touch with everything you have going on?
Yeah, it's so my boot camps are listed at rockstarmarketingbootcamp.com, rockstarmarketingbootcamp.com. The next one is October 4th to the 6th, 2018 in Los Angeles at the Westin LAX. And then my membership site is rockstarmarketingbackstage.com, rockstarmarketingbackstage.com, $97 one-time fee, and you're in for life, and you get all my past boot camps, all my speakers, all these marketing tips, hundreds, actually thousands. And then CraigDuswalt.com is my speaker site, CRAIG, D as in David, U, S as in Sam, WALT as in Tom.com.
Awesome. So if you like what Craig has to say and you're intrigued and turned on by his outside the box marketing ideas, and you like this rock star analogy and mentality of overcoming the shyness and standing out and being unique and delivering all kinds of crazy value to others, then you're definitely going to want to check out rockstarmarketingbootcamp.com, rockstarmarketingbackstage.com, and then craigduswalt.com. And then there should be a link in the show notes, but just in case you're listening while driving or something, the way to spell Craig's last name is DUSWALT.com. So make sure that you have your picture everywhere. Make sure that you outwork your competition and you make those small personal extra touches so that way you can be the person that stands out, and that way you don't fade into obscurity. So lots of great reminders and tips and new ideas in today's conversation, Craig. So I really appreciate it, and thanks for taking the time.
And thank you so much, Robert. You sound like you're a pretty amazing marketing guy. Love it. Love great thinkers. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, the feeling's mutual. Do you want to be a sponsor for the Robert Plank Show? Make sure to go right now to robertplank.com/ask, fill out the form, and tell us how you'd like to sponsor the show. Thanks for listening.